What is up, my tough trainers? I'm Lance, and today I'll be counting down my top 10 favorite bug type Pokemon. In the last top 10 video that I did, I counted down my top 10 favorite steel type Pokemon, and in that video I said you guys could vote for whether you would like to see me count down my top 10 favorite bug type Pokemon or my top 10 favorite poison type Pokemon, and Bug won the voting by just one vote, so it was very close, and that means today I'll be counting down my top 10 favorite bug type Pokemon. In the next top 10 video that I do, you guys can vote for whether you would like to see me count down my top 10 favorite poison type Pokemon or my top 10 favorite ice type Pokemon. To vote, just let me know what you would rather see in the comment section below. I started my Let's Play of my Pokemon Glazed Nuzlocke about a week ago, and there are now 4 episodes of that up, so if there is an episode you haven't seen, make sure you go ahead and check it out, because we are already 2 gym leaders into the game. As usual, this list is going to be 100% opinion based, which means if you don't agree with it, go ahead and leave your top 10, top 5, or even top 2 or 3 bug type Pokemon in the comment section below. Kicking off this list at number 10 today, we have got a Pokemon that I've never actually used in-game or in competitive battling, and it is LEAVANNY. LEAVANNY is just here because I reckon it looks like a pretty cool Pokemon. It's cool that there is a Pokemon that is part grass, part bug. I think it's a pretty cool combination. This Pokemon does have pretty good attack and pretty decent speed. And Berg, who is the 3rd gym leader of the Unova region, used one of these Pokemon, which was actually a bit hard for me to take down, so I thought it must be a pretty good Pokemon when I saw him using it, but it turns out its stats aren't great. But still, I think it deserves this spot just because of how cool it looks, so let's move on to number 9. At number 9, we have got another Pokemon that I've never used in-game or in competitive battling, and it is VIVILLON. My favourite thing about VIVILLON is it has lots of different cool forms, and its form depends on which country it came from. So if you have a US version of Pokemon X or Y and you catch this thing, it will look different to if someone who has a Chinese version of the game catches it. So I think it's pretty cool. It could be cool to try and collect all the different forms. I know a few of my friends who have done that, and VIVILLON doesn't really have any great stats, which is a bit of a shame, but I guess it does have decent special attack, so it could be good for if you want to use it in-game. I guess some people would call it gimmicky, how it has a different form that's slightly different depending on where it comes from, but I still think that it's pretty cool. At number 8, we have got a bug and poison type Pokemon that I've used a little bit in competitive battling that can be really annoying to see on your opposition's team, and it is Scolipede. I reckon Scolipede looks like a pretty cool Pokemon. One of the best things about it is it gets the ability speed boost, which means at the end of every turn its speed will go up by 1 stage. It's already got very good speed, and it's also got pretty good attack and defense. And this guy can work very well with Protect, Baton Pass, Mega Horn, and Swords Dance. If you're trying to get a sweep, this would be a good Pokemon to have on your team because you can just use Protect a few times, try get up a Swords Dance, then Baton Pass those stats off to someone else on your team. So that is why Scolipede is at number 8 today. I have been swept a few times by people who have had Scolipedes on their team. At number 7, we have got a Pokemon that I have used in-game in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and it is VESPIQUEN. I really enjoyed using VESPIQUEN in-game. I never really thought much of it until I saw a YouTuber by the name of Maryland use it in one of his playthroughs, which inspired me to use it because I used to always watch Maryland's videos, and I thought VESPIQUEN looked like a pretty good Pokemon, so I'd give it a go. This guy does have very good defense and special defense, and I needed a defensive Pokemon on my team when I was playing through Pokemon Diamond or Pearl, whichever one it was. So I used VESPIQUEN with Attack Order, Defend Order, Heal Order, and I think it was either Air Slash or Power Gem, and it actually worked very well. It did some really good stuff against some of the gym leaders, it helped me take down a lot of trainers, and I really became quite attached to my VESPIQUEN. So that is why VESPIQUEN is at number 7 today. I'm really glad that I chose to use it once in game. At number 6, we have got a Pokemon that was number 7 on my top 10 favorite steel type Pokemon, and it is GENESECT. This guy I've used quite a bit in competitive battling. I talked about him just recently, so I won't talk about him heaps now, but he does have great attack and special attack with pretty good defense, special defense, and speed. He gets the ability Download, which is cool, and he can work very well with moves such as Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Iron Head, U-Turn, even Explosion, Bug Buzz, and Thunder. I've used him to win quite a few battles in competitive battling. I think he deserves to be in Ubers at the moment. So let's move on to number 5. At number 5, we have got another Pokemon that is very good in competitive battling that is now being used a lot because of its new awesome Mega Evolution, and it is PINSIR. This guy's Mega Evolution is part flying, which is very cool, and he gets a really good ability that is called Aerialate, and that makes normal type attacks flying type attacks and also boosts their power by 30%. So that is a very cool ability. I don't really think PINSIR looks great, but I still think he deserves this spot on the list just because of how good he can be in competitive battling. His Mega Evolution has great attack with pretty good defense, special defense, and speed, and he can work very well with Swords Dance, Return, Close Combat, and Quick Attack. Because of Pinsir's ability, Quick Attack gets a boost to its power and becomes part flying, and because it's priority, it can be a very deadly move in competitive battling. At number 4 today, we have got another Pokemon that was also on my top 10 favourite Steel-type Pokemon. It was number 8 on that list, and it is SCIZOR. I've been using SCIZOR quite a bit recently in competitive battling the last week, and I've really started liking it a lot more. I reckon SCIZOR looks really cool. I've always thought that he looks cool, and I really like his new Mega Evolution. His Mega Evolution has great attack, pretty good defense and special defense. I've been using him with Bullet Punch, Swords Dance, Roost and Defog, but he can also work well with U-Turn as well. At number 3, we have got a very cool looking bug and fighting type Pokemon that was at number 9 on my top 10 favourite fighting type Pokemon, and it is HERACROSS. I used HERACROSS one of the first times I played through Pokemon Heart Gold, which I really enjoyed using, and I've been using it a little bit in competitive battling. When I used it in Heart Gold, it was an awesome Pokemon. It did a great job against Whitney, and she did not give me any trouble because I had a Heracross on my team. Heracross now has a Mega Evolution with the ability Skill Link, which means that it works very well with moves such as Rock Blast, Pin Missile, and Bullet Seed because they will always hit 5 times. And Mega Heracross can also work well with Substitute and Focus Punch. I'll have to give that a try one day. Mega Heracross has a very good attack stat of base 185, which is just another reason why I really like this Pokemon. So let's move on to number 2. At number 2, we have got a Pokemon that was at number 5 on my top 10 favourite electric types. You've probably guessed it, it is Galvantula. I've used Galvantula in Pokemon Black and quite a lot in competitive battling. I reckon Galvantula looks really cool. He looks like a pretty scary Pokemon that I'd hate to come across in real life. In real life, I'm quite afraid of spiders, so it's kind of funny that this guy is so high up on this list. He's got very good special attack and pretty good speed, and I really love how he gets the ability Compound Eyes, which boosts the accuracy slightly of his moves, which means that he can work very well with the move Thunder. He also gets a very good move that is called Sticky Web. If you are able to use a Sticky Web whenever your opponent switches into one of their Pokemon, their speed will be lowered by 1 stage, which is very cool. And Galvantula can also work well with Bug Buzz, Giga Drain, and Volt Switch. Galvantula has done lots of great things when I've used it in competitive battling, and it was also very fun to use in game when I used it, so that is why Galvantula is at number 2 today. Let's move on to number 1 on this list. When you guys clicked on this video, you were probably expecting to see this Pokemon here. It is a very popular fire and bug type Pokemon, and it is Volcarona. This Pokemon is great in competitive battling with very good special attack, pretty good special defense and speed, but I feel like even if it wasn't for those great stats, it would still be here somewhere on this list today because of how cool I think it looks. This Pokemon can either have the ability Flame Body or Swarm. Swarm boosts the power of bug type attacks when you are on 50% health or less, and if you have the ability Flame Body, there is a 30% chance your foe will get burnt when they attack you, so both of those abilities are pretty good, and Volcarona gets some very good attacks such as Quiver Dance, Bug Buzz, Fiery Dance, which is one of its signature moves with 90 base power if I'm not mistaken, which has a very high chance to boost your special attack, and it also can have Hurricane, Giga Drain, and Roost, which work well as well. I've gotten quite a few sweeps with Volcarona using Quiver Dance, Bug Buzz, Fiery Dance, and Roost, holding the Life Orb. A lot of people like to put a lot of EVs into his speed and special attack, but he can also work very well if you put lots of EVs into his defense, special defense, and HP. So make sure you give that a try one day. So that is going to be all for this video today. As usual, if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to vote for whether you would like to see me count down my top 10 favourite Poison type Pokemon or my top 10 favourite Ice type Pokemon in the next top 10 video, and stay tough.